you'll also notice we've kind of got this vertical trim piece here, and they're getting that horizontal trim piece across the top there. This is the first house that we're actually putting a RV style smart arm awning on. So it'll be really, really nice to come out here and have a complete, I believe it comes out 9 feet of kind of shaded space off the side of the house.
Why is it so important to make this house lightweight?
So this is this house. These customers are going to be full-time traveling. So they have just recently retired. Congratulations to them, and they are going to be hitting the road and hitting different parts of the U.S. that they want to travel to. So again, in that design process, something that we always think about is, you know, what's this customer going to do? We want to make sure that we're keeping it as light as possible for that traveling purposes. So as you come in here, you'll see where the floors are all complete underneath the cardboard, but we keep them all covered up so that we don't kind of have any type of mishaps on the flooring. Cabinets are finishing out. Again, custom cabinets are a lot more time consuming than some people think. There's a lot of different stages that have to happen compared to being able to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or your local kind of cabinet RTA, meaning ready to assemble kind of box cabinets, right? So what these cabinets allow us to do, which RTAs typically do not, is utilize the space to the max, right? So trying to find an RTA cabinet that would fit kind of in this setting, for example, is very difficult to kind of make use of the space. Same thing with like above this, like, you know, we're dealing with a loft height, so these are kind of custom made height upper cabinets, because we still have to keep that 18 to 20 inches between the countertop and the bottom of the cabinets.
Is the backsplash, is that full solid tile?
It is. It's a sheet tile. So it was basically 12 by 12 sheets, and the customer picked that out, and we kind of tied it into the bathroom accents as well. So you'll see some of the electric is still happening, like we've got to get a divider here. That's why there's no cover plate on this, but because 12 volts and 120 volt electric has to be separated, there's a divider that will go into this box to separate those two. And that'll be placed in the next couple of days. This is 12 volt lighting, so we did some under cabinet lighting that'll be going underneath the cabinets.
What's the dimensions of this?
So this house is 8.5 feet wide by 28 feet long. The main body's 28. There's a little bit of a bump out behind TJ here that adds about 1.5 feet to basically a little bit of a bench seating, so to speak. And then there's a little bit of a bump out on the front for some storage. So the trailer itself is only 28 feet. So we've got a Lazy Susan going in here. And then you'll notice down here as well, you know, what we did is we built up that step, and we've got 4 additional storage drawers that are being built for that setting for the customer to be able to have additional storage. This is actually a cat door. This customer has a cat kind of patio that the cats can go in and out, and the outside kind of cage will allow them to get out, get some vitamin D, so to speak, get out into the sun and see what's going on outside, but still kind of stay, you know, within the realms of the house. Something that we did for this customer too is we've got here, they'll be cutting out 3 drawers, 3 bowls here for their cat food. And then this cabinet here has, and I think I touched base on this the last time, but this was built specifically to house their Dyson stick vacuum. So if anybody's familiar with those, they need a charging station, so that's all built into that setup there. And there'll be additional pantry storage on the uppers and the lowers. So
definitely a full-size kitchen.
yeah, definitely. This customer cooks. They didn't want an oven, and this is something for people to think about because the microwave, some of the newer microwaves are convection microwaves, so you can get a lot of the oven capabilities in your microwave, and save that. Some people don't bake a lot, so they don't necessarily need that oven space. We have it protected right now, but there is a 2-burner induction cooktop underneath this protective kind of tape for them to be able to use here as well. All of these storage drawers are being built as we speak. There's some oak pieces that you can see. There'll be a storage drawer there, a storage drawer here, and what you see here is a freshwater tank in the back there. So this customer has the ability to go semi off-grid because they have the capability of their tanks to house their gray water and their freshwater.
How do you fill up your fresh water?
So the freshwater will have a hose on the other side, and we'll show you kind of where that freshwater connection is on the outside of this after we're done on the inside. And we'll show you kind of where the gray and black water is discharged as well. So TJ can kind of come up, get a view of the space. These are actually full stairs, but you have access to the storage sides of them in the outside storage. So these don't hinge up or anything like that. These had to be built solid for this kind of layout, and your storage is actually on the other side. All of the oak is being stained to match the actual floating floor too.
And this is their bed.
Yep, that's the bedroom. You'll see in the corners we have standard USB ports in the bedroom and living room. So they have their charging capabilities when they're sleeping. They have an awesome skylight in this build as well. It has a battery powered shade. So at night they can open it up, and during the day they can close it so they don't get any kind of direct sunlight. The AC system is about to be charged. We're working through that. You'll see kind of there's still some things that need to be buttoned up and trimmed out, but AC's hung and should be on and blowing cold today.
You talk about the ceiling a little bit?
Yep. So this ceiling, customer picked the color, and it's basically just a tongue and groove 6-inch board that is applied directly to the steel framing. And it has a really nice kind of tone to it that matches the floors really well. This floor plan is really deceiving, and I'm going to let TJ kind of go down in here first, because you really don't know or feel that where the bathroom is in this design and build, because it's somewhat hidden on the front. And you have to kind of work your way around, but once you kind of get in there, you'll see it's a significantly sized bathroom for a tiny home for sure. So where you're looking right now, we have a built-in all-in-one vented washer and dryer. We've got space above the washer and dryer for all of their soaps and laundry detergent and maybe some additional towels and things like that. If you are looking to go to an all-in-one, I highly recommend and really don't even do the non-vented option for our customers. The vented one is the only way to go. We've got a laundry basket here. So again, little things that we kind of take for granted in our normal kind of living 3-2 kind of space is, where are we going to put laundry? Where are we going to put trash cans? All those kinds of things. But, there's a couple of days worth of laundry that can go in there. lighted mirror. The customer also had a magnifying mirror that they're going to have mounted on here as well. Some additional storage here.
Are these cabins all custom as well?
Everything, yeah, everything in this house is custom made. So we've got a couple more drawer faces, and you can see here we really try to keep all of that plumbing nice and tight, so you still have use of that lower cabinet for different things. Storage is probably one of the most important things in a tiny home, as far as having a place to put everything. So, Incinerator Toilet, we've used this a couple of times. This actually, if you're not familiar with it, we'll get TJ to kind of zoom in on the name, but basically what this does is it takes all of the waste and it burns it into an ash. That you can take that ash and put it into the trash. That should be their logo, their slogan, right? Ash the trash. And that way, this one you don't use as a composting toilet. Like the one that's in the other house over there, there's actual waste that you have to do something with. And that waste goes into either a composting, like garden or something like that, or in this case, this can actually be trashed.
Swap places with you.
So we've got glass doors in place. So obviously, one of the biggest questions we have is, glass doors in a traveling unit. These will have to be secured when the unit's traveling, and we'll make sure that all of that's capable, when the unit's being traveled down the road. We tied in a lot of that accent tile in here, and we also used the quartz that we used on the countertops in the niches and things like that. Customer also requested the footrest for shaving, and they liked all the black accent, so that can be difficult sometimes to match up. Getting black to all match and be very similar. So we were fortunate enough on this one to be able to do that.
Just standing there.
Yeah. So you'll also notice that the windows, we went with a frosted window in the bathroom, so there won't really be any need for any type of blinds or anything like that in the bathroom. So you can see here, I'm about 6 feet tall, so you can see this bathroom, still a good size. It's 48 inches. It's a really big shower for a tiny house, for sure.
And is this tile?
It is.
So?
It is. So again, we'll use tile in sporadic kind of places. We wouldn't tile the entire trailer floor, but we definitely have no problem doing it in smaller locations like a bathroom. And we use things like a flex mortar and like a flex thin set and stuff like that, that it really is allowed to let things move without cracking tiles. And we'll show you some stuff on the outside here as well. Like when TJ passed this, you see here, we've got a couple of doors here. This was basically just a little bit of dead space that was next to the washer and dryer. So again, trying to make use of every bit of space. We've got a couple of doors being made and trimmed out for this so that we can take advantage of any of those little nooks and crannies.
Is there going to be storage underneath these stairs as well?
Yep.
And again, that's that freshwater tank.
Yep. And we'll show you on the outside kind of where that is. We'll go around the front and I'll show you where that is on the front of the trailer. So you can see where the cat door is on the outside here. They've got, customer called it a catio. So basically a patio for the cats, and it's got a door kind of right there where they've got a base kind of built for it. So when they're parked, they put this outside and the cats have the ability to go inside and outside. So pretty neat option for them.
For the incinerator toilets, have you had other clients use those with success?
We have. So we have We've used one other Incinerator Toilet. It went into the Culps. They ended up changing it out after a period of time, and weren't too keen on the runtime, right? So in order to use that toilet, I highly suggest doing some research on it, because it's not the cheapest toilet around. It's about a $2,200 toilet, but when you use it, it takes it about 75 minutes to run through a cycle. So, you can still use it again during that cycle, but once you quote unquote flush it, it restarts that cycle again. So definitely some stuff to think about and how you're going to use it and in the application of it being used, so that you can make sure that it's going to work how you want it to work.
And this area here is where that cedar aluminum is going?
Yep, here's some parts and pieces of it. You can see it here. So I'll get it out over here, TJ. So it'll really look, it's got that printed kind of look to it, and it's going to really pop, I think, next to that wrought iron exterior. So coming around the front, we've got the mini split set, and our AC technician is getting that all hooked up today. So we'll be running AC in there and cooling the house down and getting it all acclimated.
Could be great for us builders.
Yeah. And then here's that storage that we talked about on the outside, right? So you're gonna have, and this is one of the next projects that we've got on our list. So we're gonna carpet this. We have basically an indoor-outdoor carpet that's going down on this floor. You can see here. This is why it's so important. I don't know if TJ can look in here, but if you saw where that washer and dryer was on the inside, you could see how tight it is to try to get that vent aligned and all your hoses basically connected. Make sure you're not leaking, all of those things, right? So we always try to have some sort of access panel for that, so that can be done and tightened up. So there's the freshwater tank. It's about a 45-gallon freshwater tank. And where you see the blue line, that's what's going to feed the water pump that will pump the water from the freshwater tank to the house. And then you can see kind of where we were able to get some additional storage from those interior steps.
Going back to that AC and heating, does the split unit work well within a tiny home?
Yeah, so that's why 99% of builders are using them. So the only other option really in a tiny home space is like an RV kind of rooftop AC like we used in the bus conversion, but they really, you have to take that height of the unit into your total 13.6 that we talked about before. So putting that on the roof means that now you have less interior space. So mini splits, 99% of the builders out there are using them. They're phenomenal. I would recommend trying to use a name brand, something that can be worked on or found parts wherever you may be in the US. There are a bunch of kind of off-brand units out there that are much cheaper, but we highly recommend against using those because, again, you might be able to find the parts locally, or a technician that can work on it locally, but then you pick up and travel to Utah and now you can't get the parts and things to get it to work. So using a national brand is vital. It might cost you a little bit more money, but typically they're going to run better, they're going to have better warranties, and you're going to be able to get the parts and pieces that you need for them.
What's the that black thing sticking out the middle of the roof?
So there's actually a gutter system. So this house has a butterfly style roof, and the roof pitch is basically to the center on the outside. It's very difficult to kind of see it inside this space. Once we get the unit outside, next week sometime we'll have it outside and in the elements. You'll be able to see kind of how that roof line works. But that's basically where the water will discharge from water runoff from the roof. And you can see other penetrations on the outside. Again, we've got another piece of that accent stuff going between these kind of windows here. Here's your power in. Again, we use a 50 amp, 125, 250 volt system. Here is your discharge for the gray and black water tank. So we've got them both kind of here, and you can see it's a little dusty, but you can see that color is the gray tank, and you've got the black tank here. And then this is that ground that comes out of the electrical panel that will be attached to the trailer and then grounds everything to the trailer. So we've had a couple of questions in the past about this. So this is a pressure gauge, and this is on our water supply lines. And I know we've gone over our typical 30 minutes on this video, but a lot of little items that I like to kind of show off. And what that does is, this is our water in to the house. So the customer will connect their city water supply to this. We keep pressure on the supply lines the entire time of the build. And the reason why we do that is, that way if we were to, on an exterior piece of siding or a piece of trim or on an interior piece, put a screw or a nail through that supply line, we're gonna know instantly, because we'll hear the pressure let off and we'll know that we don't have any pressure. So we keep pressure on the water supply lines the entire build time. This line next to it, this is the AC drain line. So your AC heads will need a drain line from the interior unit to get that condensation off of the unit. And so that's what this line is right here.
And are these the tie-down straps underneath on the trailer?
Yes, so basically all of our trailers come with welded on 12,000 pound per D-ring, so that they can be attached to some sort of earth anchor whenever it is parked for a long extended period of time. Anything we haven't covered, Nikki?
No.
All right, so this is the vent for the Incinerator toilet, right? So that toilet has to vent as it's going through that burning process, and that's what that is there. Sorry we ran over, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, as always, take the time to kind of comment, give us some suggestions, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys next week.